Was the day before a scam? And what did they end up gaining? This is the story of the day before, a game enshrouded in allegations and uncertainty, and the development team behind it, fantastic. It was a cold January 21. The gaming world was buzzing with excitement as the day before emerged. Its trailer was a cinematic masterpiece, promising an unparalleled zombie survival experience. Gamers around the world were mesmerized by the stunning visuals, the promise of an open world filled with danger and adventure. The trailer showcased desolated cities, intense combat, and a level of realism that set the heart racing. But amidst the excitement, questions lingered about the developers. Fantastic, an unknown developer to many, raised many questions. Who were these developers, and how could they promise such a grand adventure? But even with all these questions swirling, the game started building up hype, and people were eager to go to Steam and put it on their wishlist. After the trailer launched, the day before quickly climbed the ranks to becoming one of the most anticipated games on Steam. However, as weeks turned into months, the initial buzz faded into utter silence. Gamers, content creators, and industry experts started probing into the new development team known as Fantastic and its past, which led to the uncovering of a very questionable history of unfulfilled promises and abandoned projects. Doubts began to surface about the game's legitimacy, and the absence of follow-up news only fueled the growing skepticism. March 31st, a date I'm pretty sure a lot of you marked in your calendar. This date was set to be a major reveal on the IGN official YouTube channel, which we should definitely tune in and check out if we were interested to get more information about the day before. Now, IGN is a huge platform and a really big deal to showcase your game. This would draw the attentions of not only news outlets, but content creators and gamers who were not only enthusiastic, but also hyped from not only the silence, but also the previous trailer that we had seen. Remember, from the first initial trailer, this game made top wish-listed games on Steam. But with just 24 hours of the live event happening, there was some information that came that the live event had been postponed because there were some technical difficulty, and that the live event would then be broadcasted a week after on April the 6th. Fast forward to April the 6th, we were there waiting for the event to happen, and we got greeted with a day before logo and a counter telling us exactly when this event was going to happen. Unfortunately, the counter kept counting down, and we started searching what exactly was going on. Of course, we headed to Twitter and found that within the Fantastic Twitter page, they were telling us that they were having some technical problems with the day before event, but to not worry, we could sit back and enjoy the music as we waited. And we waited and waited a total of 9 hours. Eventually, the stream ended up going down, so we went back to see what was happening. Once again, on their Twitter page, they said that the event had been postponed yet again, and that they would set a new date as soon as possible. Now, obviously, this definitely raised a huge amount of questions on why was there a delay in the first place, and why would they state that this event was going to be taking place if it wasn't not. It was only going to be a trailer reveal, and this only takes simple inputs within your streaming software to play an MP4 file or an MKV file. Why would you leave the stream up for 9 hours if you knew you couldn't deliver on the work? But the most important question was, if they couldn't deliver a gameplay, how could they deliver such an ambitious game that everybody was eagerly waiting? Now, even with all this skepticism and even with all these delays, everybody got eager for April the 9th as we got a 13-minute game trailer. This showcased the game and left us even more excited on how amazing the game actually looked. We saw people driving vehicles, gorgeous landscapes, shooting zombies, and of course looting for food and ammo, entering in secured houses, and intense gameplay not only with zombies but also with other players. With the hype growing and the wishlist climbing, Steam charts were off the charts on everybody wanting to play this game. Fast forward to October, guys, we get information that there is going to be another trailer where we're going to get to see more gameplay, and everybody was eagerly excited because we felt that this was going to be the official time where we either got a beta or a release date. And they said we were going to get some really exciting information. Content creators were excited. Everybody was excited. We tuned in and they said, we have some amazing news for you guys after the trailer.
I've seen some new videos from the day before, and you know the release date.
We're looking forward to delivering the day before for you.
And now we have something more.
Our second inner team at Fantastic has been working on something super fun over the year.
We're happy to show you our new game, Prop Night.
Join Prop Night Open Beta right after the event.
The release date was announced, but in addition to that, they told us that there was a brand new game that they were also working on that we would be able to play right away, and that game was called Prop Night. Now the thing with this is, guys, they used all the popularity that the day before had to promote this other game that they had been working on the side. Now with the popularity that the day before had, they were able to leverage off this popularity to sell us this Prop Night, and of course we took the bait. Now once again we went into silence, a silence for 6 months. But on May the 3rd, 2022, we got a tweet. The day before news will be this week. Once again, we were excited. But that news was bittersweet because what they announced was that they were delaying the launch of the game to March 2023. Now, the reasons for delaying the game is due to the fact that the game was just too popular. Millions of people have added the day before to their wishlist, making the game one of the most anticipated games in the world. Feeling and understanding the great responsibility that we face, with enormous gratitude in our hearts, we're pleased to announce that the day before will be switching to the new Unreal Engine 5 technology. The transition to a more advanced and adapted open world engine will make the gameplay of the day before even more fantastic. In this regard, we inform you that the new release date of the game will be March 1st, 2023. Now, with just a couple months from the release of the game, on January, there is this big buzz around the internet, on Reddit, on Twitter, everywhere. Everybody's talking about how the most anticipated game has officially been removed from Steam. What happened? What's going on? Well, we got some clarification on what had happened from Discord. It said, we are currently experiencing some minor technical difficulties with our game's visibility on the Steam store page. This is a known bug that has affected multiple titles in the past. Please note that Steam regularly conducts maintenance on Tuesdays, and this issue will likely be resolved during that time. We kindly ask you that you refrain from sending negative messages or joining in with the complaints of others. Rest assured that our game will be visible on Steam Store again once the maintenance is complete. Patience is key. Unfortunately, once again, this was deception, a lie and incorrect statement, due to the fact that a couple days later, Fantastic released this statement. It says, "Dear fans, right before the release, Steam blocked our game page as the request of a private individual because the name the day before. As you know, our game was announced in January 2021. At the time of the announcement, the day before game trademark was available. After the announcement of the game, the above mentioned individual filed an application before us to register the game's trademark the day before in the United States. And they say, previously we were not aware of the existing claims. We found out about this only on January 19, 2023, when we received the complaint from him and the request to contact him. Now, we find out all the circumstances of the incident and we will definitely solve everything. We previously planned to post a lengthy gameplay video later this month, but we will have to sort this issue out first. We will post the video ASAP. As a result, we have made a difficult decision to postpone the launch to November the 10th, 2023. Now, unfortunately, these statements once again are incorrect, due to the fact that the person that filed the trademark can be searched through public records. And the release and announcement of the day before was January the 29th, 21. The person that filed the trademark is a person named Sanjay Lee, who filed a trademark not on January, but actually in May 21st, 2021, 5 months after the announcement of the day before. Now, we also are able to confirm when Fantastic actually filed the trademark, and that was a year after the announcement of the day before, on January 27, 2022. Now, just like the other stuff that has been happening prior to this raises a ton of questions. Why would you post a game and announce a game without filing a trademark? This is basically video game 101 or branding 101. You always trademark before you actually announce. Why would you take over a year to file a trademark? And when you filed that trademark, how did you not notice that someone had already filed a trademark and addressed that issue before you actually got to the point where the person stopped you from using the name? And third, why would this cause a delay in the game? With all these questions and more, speculation started swirling that they were actually behind the trademark filing, and this was going to give them an option or a way out to delay the game even further because the game was not fully complete. Fast forward to November the 1st, we get another trailer by Fantastic and yet another delay. One of the most highly anticipated and yet more controversial games of all time has once again been delayed. Now, the great thing is that this time it wasn't delayed by a long amount of months. It was actually only delayed for a month. And the release date was set on stone for December the 7th, 2023. They stated that this was going to be an early access release on Steam, and it would not be coming into console due to the fact that this was their first huge game, and they wanted to make sure that they had it polished out before the future release of the game. In addition to that, we also got the price of the game. The game, you would able to go ahead and get the early access for $39.99. Once again, we marked our calendars for December the 7th. Even though December the 7th wasn't here, the internet was buzzing for one of the most anticipated games on Steam. It went once again back to being number 1 and fluctuated from 1 and 2. Gamers were eager, gamers were excited, and as the days closed in into December the 7th, speculation started swirling that the game was not going to be releasing due to the fact of all the previous past times that the game had officially got a delay. As December the 7th approaches, on December the 6th, we get information that the current YouTube page of Fantastic and the day before has been updated with deleted videos of previous gameplay of the game. This raised a couple questions and a couple eyebrows, but gamers were still eager just with a day left to get their hands on December the 7th to play the day before. December the 7th is here. It's 10 a.m. Everybody's eager, ready to go into Woodbury and test the game that everybody thought was not ever going to come, and the arrival is here. Streamers are ready, content creators are ready, journalists are ready, and of course, gamers are ready. They are so ready that this game goes off the charts. It almost garnishes a total of 500,000 views on Twitch. With that amount of people watching, the hype keeps going over and over. With almost 40,000 people playing the game at launch, it seems like the day before is off to a good start. But unfortunately, it comes to a halt due to the fact that a lot of people that purchased the game weren't able to get into the game due to server issues. They were sitting there waiting to connect, and waiting to connect. This leading to one of the major flaws when it comes to video game refunding, that on Steam, you cannot refund unless you played the game for less than 2 hours. If you're sitting in a lobby trying to connect into the game and you're sitting for more than 2 hours, you cannot ask for a refund. And if you actually got into the game within an hour, it almost took you an hour to actually get and meet all the NPCs. So a lot more speculation started swirling that the server delayed was done on purpose. Even though a couple hours in, Fantastic tweeted that the servers had been fixed, but that wasn't the problem. The biggest problem is the game that was promised was never delivered, due to the fact that the game was promised to be an MMO and also an open world survivor game. Unfortunately, this actually turned out to be an extract shooter. Another thing that stood out is that on the trailers we saw that this game was taking place in New York. Unfortunately, it takes place in a random location. It also showed that we were going to be getting a lot of really good features, like for example, mantling, jumping, meleeing, and of course, very cool mechanics when it came to weapon customization, and also being able to have voice chat, all which was shown on the previous trailers. But when the game released, we got none of that. We don't even have melee. With all this backfall, a game that was one of the most anticipated games of all time rapidly became one of the most disliked games in Steam history, almost getting close to number 1. So now the question we have to answer, was it a scam, and what did they gain?